was a horrendous effort overall on our part tonight, and we out-rebounded them by 1 rebound. It just was, the whole thing was, we were out of sync all night, and it's disappointing after coming off a game like we had the other night. It's one of the really good wins we've had in the regular season, and Frank's played really well, looked really good, and tonight he looked like it was his very first game back, and it wasn't.
Welcome to the Cuse Militia Podcast with those two unapologetically biased, orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe. Give us a like on Facebook at Cuse Militia Podcast and follow on Twitter at Cuse Militia.
All right, what's up, Cuse Nation? Thanks for tuning in to the Cuse Militia Podcast with Sean and Joe. If you like it, please share it. As always, subscribe. We appreciate that. The Orange barely snuffed out Cornell with a 63-55 win over the Big Red. We'll give you our thoughts, and SC will stay home to host Northeastern Huskies Tuesday, December 4th at 6:45. We'll tell you what to expect there, but as always, in 1 second, we'll get to it all. First, watching football is fun, but it's more entertaining when you have some action in on the game. You've been hearing me talk about this for quite some time now, and some of you are still on the sidelines. Whether you're an expert or a rookie, you should be betting at MyBookie. If you're the kind of guy or gal that likes to bet a little and win a lot, like playing numbers on roulette, you can create a big parlay. Pick 3 teams to win, and if you hit all 3, you could turn $100 into $600. There's a ton to bet on there: college basketball, college football, NFL, NBA, NHL, custom props, even esports. You name it. Is esport a sport, Joe? Is esports sports? I say no.
I plead the fifth.
MyBookie is one bet that I know you'll be happy with. I recommend these guys because I really trust them. MyBookie hasn't been in business for years. They've got great online reviews, as you know, and their mobile site is easy to use. Sign up this week with MyBookie, and they will give you a 50% deposit bonus to jumpstart your bankroll. It's a great way to bank even more money when you win. Also, make sure to follow at BetMyBookie on Twitter. They personally respond to every mention in DM. Not to mention, they've given away more than $10,000 in free money to their followers this football season. You'll be the first to know as new odds or props are posted. So log on to MyBookie right now and use promo code CUSE25 to get that 50% deposit bonus. That's promo code CUSE25. You play, you win, you get paid. All right, so hey, you know what? Christmas is coming. It's that time of year, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to email dstaffo64@gmail.com and get that personally signed book. Dr. Donald Staffo's book, Jim Boeheim in Syracuse Basketball, reads like I'm reading it. It's really good, and it is just chock full of information. If you like stats and storyline all in the same place, this is the book. You'll want to read it, and you can get a custom signed copy by emailing him. He'll let you know exactly what to do. So yeah, do it. dstaffo64@gmail.com. Now, the big news of the day was that the bowls were announced, and it's pretty much exactly what we thought it was. The Camping World Bowl, Friday, December 28th at 5:15. And as far as I know, Cuse Militia Podcast will have at least one representative there. Right, Joe? Is this true?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is what we thought it was. What we're going to do is we're going to probably team up with Tyler Morona from the Trademark Podcast and do a little crossover episode with him for some of the bowl stuff, and then that'll wrap up the pregame. We got about 4 weeks. We'll probably do that. I think we'll wait till closer to the game to do that. We'll plan it out. But yeah, it's going to be exciting in Orlando, and it's going to be in the coldest time of the year, pretty much on the East Coast where we're at. So going to Orlando won't be that bad
for. Yep.
Yeah. So
I'm excited. Pumped up. Dungy's last game.
Yeah, Dungy's last game.
That's why I'm going.
Yeah, that's a good reason to go.
Yeah, and because I'm fantasy football money.
because Joe's in 12 fantasy football leagues. He's bound to win one of them, right? I mean,
No, not 12. 5.
Oh, 5. So, anyway, all right.
Won a grand today.
You won a grand today? There you go. That pays for your trip.
Yep.
Pays for just about everything. That's pretty good. So, anyway, that's it. We'll as more information comes out for that, we'll talk about it. But anyways, hey, your 1 minute recap is brought to you by JP Mulligan's. We're going to get into that. JP Mulligan's happy hour every Monday through Friday, 4 to 6. Trivia Tuesdays, every NFL game every Sunday, and of course they play all the Syracuse games there. Go there, hang with other Cuse fans, grab a stool, get some wings, get a burger, grab some beer. Get a frosty beverage, and if you see Nick behind the bar, you can get some swag, because we all know that's why you're there anyway, that and the wings. So, JP Mulligan's, thank you. All right, Syracuse improves to 5-2 after scraping up enough points to take out Cornell. As I looked at the totals on the box score, I thought to myself, it's not that bad. 50% field goals, 8 for 21 from distance. Then, upon further review, you realize it's just two guys. And Battle and Brissett combined for 45 points of the 63 scored by the Orange. Battle shot 58.8% and was 4 for 6 from 3, and he totaled 26 points. Brissett shot 62.5% and 2 for 3 from behind the arc with 7 free throws. He totaled 19. Hughes hit a wall. That's going to happen. He finished with 4 points. I'm going to give Hughes a pass. He's been averaging about 17 points a game. So Chukwu and Sidibe, though, they combined for 4 points. And this is kind of beginning to worry me a bit. The problems, huge problems in the low post spot. And, Chukwu has as many dunks as me and Joe combined. It's amazing, which is exactly 0. So now I know I'm beating a dead horse with this. You've heard me talk about it. But how many times is Marek going to pass up open shots as he looks off the rim on open shots? Even the Dome crowd gasped at one point. He passed up an open 3. And just decide to pass the ball off. I don't get it. He can hit the shot. I don't know if he's scared to get yelled at and miss and get in trouble. I don't know. But the defense, not great. The Orange D let one man, Matt Morgan, keep the Big Red in this game with shooting 64% from the floor and 6 for 10 from 3. And Morgan matched Battle's 26 points. I know what Joe's going to say, and he's going to say, it was an ugly win, but a win's a win. And, yeah, I agree. But Joe should have freaking smoked this team. I don't understand. You heard Boeheim in the open of the show. Completely out of sync. Just abominable, dude. It was terrible. I thought it was awful. I didn't get to watch the game live, so I recorded it. Had a company Christmas party last night, and I recorded it, came home and watched it, and it was, abysmal, dude. I was like, this stinks. I thought it stunk. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I can understand it. It was tough watching it live. There was a point in the second half where I thought that we kind of gained control and we were going to run away with it, and then Matt Morgan just started hitting ridiculous shots. And to me, that was the story of the game. That and our free throw percentage, 13 of 21. So we missed a bunch of points there. Some guys took some bad shots. Some guys didn't take shots. I mean, Elijah Hughes has been one of our more consistent players, one of our better jump shooters, and he only took 3 shots, which is kind of weird to me. Frank Howard went 1 for 7, shot 7 threes. So
it was awful too. That's right.
Yeah. So and Boeheim talked a little bit about his shot selection as well, because usually he's been known to kind of get in the lane and make those jumpers and those runners. So really, the one guy there, Matt Morgan. I mean, there's a couple other guys that played good. It wasn't like they played awful. The rebounding margin was really close. Turnovers, we won by, I think it was 14-10 by 4. But yeah, Matt Morgan, like I said, he was just making ridiculous shots. So realistically, winning by 8 and getting out of there, I mean, Cornell just played out of their mind, with especially the way Matt Morgan shot. And if we shoot some free throws there, then we win by 12-13, probably around the percentage we should have been. And yeah, if Matt Morgan misses some of those shots that most people would not make, then again, you're looking around a 20-point win, 18-point win. So we just got to get better. We can't have only two guys carry us. Like you said, we should be able to score more points. But again, we did shoot 50%. So
right. I mean, but that comes from two guys because they both shot in the 60s. Well, 58 in 62.
Yeah, but as far as overall team percentage-wise, it doesn't matter how many guys it is shooting 50%.
I
50%.
I understand the equation. I know that. I'm just saying though, 45 out of the 63 points, 18 points from the rest of the team.
Oh, some nights, if that's what it's got to be, then that's what it's got to be.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, it's ugly. An ugly win is still a win, and there's no. I'm not even going to.
If you look at the stats, if you were to just take the team's names off the board and just look at the team stats, the score looks about right.
Oh, absolutely. I think it definitely does. But I expect Syracuse at home against Cornell, okay, to score 80 points. And it wasn't that it was terrible, the offense, but it was two guys doing it. And I don't think they're in this position where they were last year when you have to have Tyus and O'Shea carry the team to a win, especially against a team like Cornell. I don't feel like they should. I don't feel like we should have to watch that, and like have to watch it. But you know what I'm saying? I understood it last year. I don't understand it last night. Okay.
Well, Cornell came out in valiant effort, played good defense. The pace was slowed down.
Yeah.
The pace was slowed down, so that's why the score was what it was, because there wasn't a lot of possessions. Again, there's a lot of times where we kind of waited to the end of the shot clock to shoot too, and playing against 2-3 zone, that's exactly what they did. I mean, how many times did Matt Morgan just shoot right at the end of the shot clock? So,
and how many shot clock violations did they have? Like 5, which is
excellent.
They
had a bunch.
Yeah,
right. So, and that's where a majority of their turnovers came from. But again, other than that, they played a relatively clean game, and the pace was slow, and they had a guy that was just hitting ridiculous shots, and we just made it more difficult by having some bonehead dumb fouls and certain plays, and just not making the offense easier than it probably could be. But again, the two guys played well and we won.
Yeah, and I will say this. This from at Jason Murray 117 says this isn't. I'm paraphrasing here, but basically what he was saying is since Howard has been back, Battle has averaged 23.3 points a game and is shooting 64.9% field goals and 72.7% from three. So, that's excellent. Tyus was struggling without Howard there. There's no doubt about it. I just feel like they've got to put it together. Their first and only really put together game, thankfully, was against Ohio State.
Right.
And I just feel like obviously I'm happy that this stuff is happening in the beginning of the year if it's going to happen. But as far as the center position, when we start playing some of these conference games, those guys, that's where my real problem lies. That's where my real problem lies. I'm not going to pick on the rest of the team for their shooting and all that. The problem is the post position and how awful it is. It's terrible. Yeah. They're virtually they're just bodies on the court. And, I don't want to hammer away, but, I just expect more out of Chukwu, man. He's been there long enough to have some semblance of, what's going on and what to do. And it's just like a body on the court sometimes. And he's 7'2". I've never seen someone that's 7'2" like that be so insignificant on a basketball court. That's I guess that's.
But it's tough because it's been inconsistent. And again, you'd like to think that the length helps us there down in the middle. But at some point, I think we're going to see a situation where I think Dolce might be the permanent fix against most teams. You're still going to see those guys come in, but when it comes down to crunch time for offensive reasons, he's going to have to be that guy to come in and step up, and we're going to have to play that way because it's too much. There's nothing you can do. you try to do the pick and roll with Chuku or Sidibe, and it doesn't work because, they just make sure that they go with whoever has the ball because they don't look at the guy as a threat. And it's just too easy when you have liabilities out there on offense, then it just makes the defense it makes it easier for the other team to play defense against you because they're not worried about those guys scoring. I mean, if you're out there on the court, defense could be your specialty and you don't got to score 10 plus points, double figures a game, but you have to be able to score when put in the position. And we can't even get that right now.
At least, though, I will say that I thought the officiating, coming off of that Ohio State game, the officiating was solid. I give them credit. They let him play, So, Chuku, I think he only had, 2 fouls? Where is he here? Yeah. So, some of his play, the over-the-backs, remember last year. I don't know how many he's had this year, but last year, that was a problem, the over-the-back stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But, I guess, there's still a few more games to make improvements, and maybe some of these guys, they got to stay back after practice and work on some stuff, man.
Well, I think it's with them. It's always been just confidence. They have to be able to get their confidence in. Sidibe, he sometimes makes things happen around the basket, and Chukwu's had his moments, but at least they look a little bit smarter with foul trouble a little bit this year. But they just got to gain confidence and be able to just understand that they're 5 fouls, because I think at the end of the day, Dolce's role is going to be, coming in and playing in the middle and being able to come in and be a scoring threat and have all 5 players on the court be a scoring threat.
Right. All right. Well, let's see. The Orange hold a 93-31 advantage all time in this series against Cornell. They extended the winning streak to 39 games. That's huge. I think I read somewhere that gas was like 37 cents a gallon or something like that the last time Cornell beat Syracuse. So, 39 games. That's excellent. Any final thoughts on Cornell, Joe?
Just hope that coach uses this, and this is usually what happens when a game like this happens, because Cornell did play good, but coach is going to be able to use this to play a motivating factor in the next game. And I think that hopefully it works, because Northeastern is a better team than Cornell. So if we come out playing like we did against them, we could be in trouble.
It's time to hear from you, the loudmouths from the Loud House, the best damn college sports fans in the nation.
All right, it is at Cuse Militia on Facebook and Twitter. And what we do is we propose the question after the game, and you just leave your comment. You leave your comment. We pick the top 10 between Facebook and Twitter, and on your thoughts on the game. And I had a guy working the socials last night because I wasn't going to be live, and he failed to propose the question. So I did it this morning. I took care of it. I salvaged a fan feedback segment out of it.
Whoa, what?
What? I'm sorry, what? What's up?
What happened?
I put this guy in charge of social media last night. I was just saying, and I sent him the meme to send out to Facebook and Twitter if we won. Well, he put it on Twitter. He didn't put it on Facebook, but he put it on Twitter. And then he never proposed the question like we always do after the game.
Oh man!
So it was
jackass.
I know, right? What an idiot, right? That's what I'm saying.
Who was it?
You. Oh my gosh, you're fired. What?
I didn't get that memo.
Oh my gosh. Joe, take care of the socials tonight. Can you do that? Yeah, man, what do you want me to do? Here, send this out. Take care of the socials. Tweet brilliant things, as I would say to Joe.
But I did send that one thing out.
What one thing?
The thing you told me to send.
You put it on one platform. One. Twitter. You chose Twitter. And those don't even run good on Twitter. They actually suck on Twitter. They're better for Facebook. But anyway, I digress. It's fine. It's fine. I'm used to it. I keep the ship afloat. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Aaron on Facebook says, sloppy as hell, but in the end, they came through with big plays and moving the ball better for the win. Okay. Well, I mean, look, like Joe said, there was a point in the second half about like midway through, you thought they were just going to be annihilated. And then they just hung around, and I think it was like 5 minutes left. They took a lead. So I was a little worried. Jake says Matt Morgan was on fire. We did not bring our A game or even B, except Tyus. Yeah. You always got that one guy, I suppose, that you can look to, whether it be Tyus or Brissett or Hughes even at some points, who have really done the work. I want to see a full team effort. That's me, Joe. I want to see another Ohio State game. That's what I want. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see with this team that has the 5 returning starters from last year. That's what we expect out of them. So, Joe, anything? No? Steve says...
Yeah, of course. Everyone wants to see that every week. And it's not going to happen every game.
I know, but it should happen against Cornell.
So for a win.
Yeah. Steve, as usual, we played down to our opponent. What do you think about that, Joe? I've actually thought that myself. Someday they played up to the competition against Ohio State, you could say. And I guess you could say that they played down to their competition against Cornell. Because they play like that. They play like that against Ohio State. They lose. So.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it tends to happen sometimes, but you never know what's going on. And sometimes it's hard to, you go win a game like that. And then, it's hard to get up for a game like that sometimes. So I don't want to make excuses, but it's just the fact of the, no, it's just the fact of the matter. Sometimes it does.
Joe says sloppy, but a win is a win. Keep rolling, keep improving. On to the next one. Lisa says offense looked lost, but happy to win. Steve says patience may be a virtue. It also be mantra for SU fans for this team. Of course, even patience has an expiration date. Yeah, look, I'm pretty patient, and I don't ever want to hit the panic button or sound the alarm until conference play starts. But, I think they'll get it together. But I was a little upset about last night, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting a little bit.
You are.
I know. Entertaining game to watch. Cornell played really well. People should... Oh, this one's directed at me, I think. This is at SoupCan11. Entertaining game to watch. Cornell played really well. People should just enjoy watching the game for the game and stop worrying about whether your team is dominating. But I want to dominate. SoupCan11. Damn it.
Thank you, SoupCan.
I had fun watching, close and tense at times, but the Orange did what they had to do to get the W. I mean, I guess. I can see it from that perspective. I'm not going to lie. I absolutely can. At Geo Heater, our buddy Geo, a win is a win, but that just didn't look good. I agree. See, Giovanni's on my level right now. Tyus clearly put a lot on the board. Disappointingly, Hughes didn't do much. Like I said, I give Hughes a pass. I hate to get at him, but Pascal is not good at all and never has been. Whoa! But it's a win. Three game win streak. Go Orange. Pascal. Let's go. Hold on a second. Pascal is not good and never has been. Wow, that means a lot coming. Giovanni, very positive. He's a very positive guy. So
it's kind of right though.
Yeah, I would say he's not far off. Pascal, I don't think has improved, and I think he's improved
in some things, but
really,
I think
like
in
what?
some things,
like what?
Well, I mean, dude, there used to be a time where he couldn't even catch a ball. So
okay, well he can catch now. Congratulations, that's awesome.
I'm just saying, he's gotten a little bit bigger. Seems like he's a little bit better staying out of foul trouble.
Oh gosh.
I mean, you said he didn't. I mean, he's gotten good at some stuff, but at the end of the day,
like catching. Joe, you just said out of everything
at
that
least
he's gotten better
turning
at.
The ball over as much as he has. His free throws have gotten better.
His free throws have gotten better.
He's improved.
His free throws have gotten better.
You.
Last year, he was shooting 100 after every practice or something like that, and they have gotten better. Chukwu, he did turn the ball over 2 times last night, but when if someone has really impressed you and they've improved in something and they play basketball, usually catching isn't on that list. So I'm just saying. At Hamster48082242. Syracuse should beat a team like that by 20 to 30 points. This team has no heart at times, no killer instinct. They just mail it in. And why can't they get a decent center? Both of our centers are awful. How can you be 7-2 and not have a dunk? Wow. Piling on the Pascal. I mean, I don't know. What do you say? No killer instinct? He has a point with that. I'm going to go through the points that have not been made yet. No heart at times. I don't know. No killer instinct, I think, sums that up. They're not like super aggressive and, the fire. Where's the fire? Show me the fire. At Aaron Cleve, I think a lot of it has to do with coaching. When we had Hopkins, he could take someone and in a couple seasons have them a dominant force down below. Jackson Keita, Onuaku, etc. I haven't seen progress from that position since he left. Well, last year was the first full year, right, without him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a little hard to say, but it hasn't been good. But I think we got some guys coming in. Oh, what was it? Cook. He's going to UConn, so he's out of the running. So I guess good on old Hurley there. So whatever. But yeah. So I did not have a poll this week, but yeah, I know. I slacked on it, man. But
is that up to me too?
Well, Joe, I have asked you to help with the polls, and I just forget it. Why am I even bringing it up? So we can give something away, though. How about we give something away? Get the Cuse Crate. Go to iTunes and leave a 5-star rating and a written review. If I read the written review on the show, you email us at cusemilitia@gmail.com. Give me your address, and I'll send that stuff out. A couple koozies, some stickers, some stuff like that, some decals, some custom decals and stuff. Let's see. Reich 607. Love it. 5 stars. This show is by far the best when compared to any other SU podcast that I've listened to. Now, how long do you think it took him or her to write this? Probably like what? I don't know. Altogether, 30 seconds?
Day.
So, a day? I don't know. But
I don't know.
I'll tell you what. Maybe 30 seconds, a minute? Yeah, get on it. Go to iTunes, give us a rating and a written review. Appreciate that. And we will get out the Cuse Crate. We read you online on the show, and boom, bang, bada bing. Right to your door.
Boom.
All right, Joe. Tuesday, December 4th at 6:45. Northeastern comes to the Carrier Dome. And they have wins over Harvard, Alabama, Bucknell, Eastern Michigan. They've lost to Davidson already twice this year. out of their 8 games, they're 4-4.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, right.
Two games in a row.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what was up with that.
48.3% field goal percentage and 41% from 3. And they do have, which is pretty good. They're a pretty good shooting team. And they do have 4 guys that average double digits every game. So a lot going on there. They have release valves, so to speak.
Yes, they do, sir. No, Northeastern last year, they finished season 23-10 and 14-4 in the Colonial, and they ended up losing to the College of Charleston in their conference final, so they didn't end up making the NCAA tournament. I think they made the NIT, but they returned a lot of the guys from last year, and a couple of the guys we got to worry about. Their leading scorer right now, junior guard Jordan Rowland, who averages 16 points a game, and the other guy that is one of their more facilitators and the stat stuffers is Donnell Gresham. He's a 6'1" guard, junior. He has 11 points a game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. And as far as their height goes, forward Thomas Murphy, sophomore, 6'8". He averages 10 points, 4 rebounds. And their senior center, Anthony Green, 6'10", 8 points, 5 rebounds. kind of got a break with them. They started off the year 4-4. They're 4-4 right now, obviously, but they had 2 injuries from the beginning of the year to 2 starters from last year's team, and they still have not returned to play. One of them, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but is
Come
supposed
on,
to
give it a shot. You got to give it a shot. The listeners got to know. The listeners got to know.
His last name is Occeus, Occeus.
Okay.
If that would be my guess. I don't know, but he was a starter from last year and he has yet to play. But the coach is hopeful that he could suit up against Syracuse. But the one big loss was their guard Vasa Pusika, who was, I think, their second leading scorer, probably one of their better 3-point shooters. He actually, I think last week, fractured his wrist. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. So overall, Colonial Conference has been one of the better, mid-major conferences out there. And most of the time, sometimes, they have a better chance to get some of these upsets from the teams that come from that conference. But this is not Cornell. They're definitely going to be a better team. Looking at the KenPom numbers, I think we moved up 1 to 19, but they got Northeastern. He's got Northeastern at 79. Their adjusted offense is like 25th, so they're going to be able to score. They do have shooters, like you said, 41% from the 3-point line. I looked that up. It's like, I think, tied for 18th in the country. So
that's really good.
Yeah. So obviously, you know how that goes. So hopefully we can just spread out that zone and try to stop them from shooting threes. And hopefully they don't make some of the shots that Matt Morgan did. And I don't think they have a shooter or a player like Matt Morgan. Matt Morgan he looked like a special player. And if you look back at some of his games this year, I mean, there's a lot of talk about that kid. He was making ridiculous shots. So they can shoot, but I think that if we can get out there, then we can probably hold that line, and we just got to play better as far as on offense goes, Yeah, I don't know if just 2 guys are going to be able to beat Northeastern.
Yeah, exactly. And that was, that's kind of my concern. But, all right. Well, we do not have a my bookie pick, unfortunately. You want to you want to do another one? You want to lose again? Joe loses the my bookie pick against Cornell. He picked them to clear 20, and obviously it never even got to that much. But
but I guessed 20, and when we looked the next day, it was 21.5. So I was close.
Yeah, it could have opened at 20. I never checked, but because it was
right.
But yeah, so these lines come out for Tuesday games. They'll come out tomorrow. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do my bookie pick, but. Joe does not want to speculate because that's bad luck, apparently. So.
No, obviously it was, right?
Yeah, but at least you were close in your line, but, you just bet wrong. So, I mean what are you going to do?
Yeah, Bam's son, too, Jimmy there. He played pretty good.
Yeah, 9 points. I've never sat and watched a game and hoped a player from the other team hit a shot. And there was a point when we had a pad, and he shot a 3, and I was hoping it was going to go in just for the sake of, the whole thing. And it didn't. It bricked off of the iron, but it was fun to watch.
Buddy made a 3, didn't he?
Yeah, it was the only thing he made was a 3. And there's a couple pictures of them I saw guarding one another and stuff. And
yeah.
And that's pretty cool, man. So we got 2 more years of that, which is great because, next year Buddy's going to be better, and obviously Jimmy's going to be better, and they're probably going to be both getting more minutes. So we'll get to watch that, evolve. That's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. I think it's only the 5th time in NCAA history that a coach. I can't believe it was 5, to be honest with you. Right? When you think about it, the 5th time in NCAA history that a coach and one of his sons played against his other son. So, really neat. But I would say, if I had to guess, I could have put money on that. Never happened before. So, but it has 4 other times. So, that's it. I want to obviously thank Armchair All-Americans, James on guitar, Shovingtown Barbershop, JP Mulligans, all of you that listen. Help spread the word. We really appreciate it. Everybody who participates in fan feedback every game. obviously without that we wouldn't even do that segment, and that's fun. I enjoy that segment. And if as it gets bigger and we have time, once we're full blown basketball, there's a possibility of bringing on another fan or something like that eventually at some point to do some fan feedback again. I thought that was fun. I don't know if the listeners enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it. Having Giovanni on for fan feedback. I thought that was fun. Something different. So anyway, That's it for Joe. I'm Sean. We're out.
Go to Orlando. Peace.
This has been the Cuse Militia Podcast with Sean and Joe. Be heard. Contact us on Facebook at Cuse Militia Podcast and tweet at us using #CuseMilitia.